trying to find something we could jam to so that I could get this conversation on. Cause I need some music right now. I ain't talking about no gospel music and that. So I'm talking like some like music. You know what I'm saying? I guess we could start off with this. So. Yo, what up, Baron? How you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm good as always. Um, I guess we could start this conversation off with some anime. Although something that I kind of got into recently. That was My Hero Academia. I'm still on season 1, so I'm only down to 3 episodes, and Azuko is like so pressed to be a superhero and all that. He wants to be just like his childhood idol, All Might. But little do you know that All Might is kind of sick right now, so he can barely stay buff and strong. I feel like when you're a fanboy of something, you want to be just like your childhood hero, actor, rapper, singer. I love anime because it has amazing action. Who doesn't love anime? I love anime too. And personally, anime was my favorite in the past because I used to be a huge anime dog like crazy. I've always been to anime ever since I was a child. I remember one day coming home after school, I used to always draw my little Mortal Kombat comic, even though I was a bad artist at the time. But I was just gonna help myself because one of my favorite shows, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think One Piece came out one time, and it was on Toonami back then. I'm trying to figure out what else did I used to watch as growing up, and I don't know. I think that was about it. Anime to me it's kind of special, but it's also weird at the same time. Coming out with these weird Japanese characters, and I mean some weird characters. Like last year, my other channel, I was doing reactions to One Punch Man, and there's this one gay character that acts exactly like Go does, and I was like, oh my god! And I thought I was fruity. I'm not trying to be homophobic or anything, though, but I'm just saying like having these gay type of characters in One Punch Man, with the big, the one that one character with those big lips, and that striped black and no, it was a blue and white striped gel suit he had on. He looked gay, just doing stuff. I'm like, who is this character? In my mind, I'm thinking this cannot be serious. But I still love the series at the same time because, I mean, One Punch Man is what got me back into anime. After seeing some people react to on YouTube, I was like, let me check it out. And I didn't watch the first episode. I've only done a reaction to episode 2. And from then on, I became a huge anime fan, and I honestly, to be honest, I honestly don't know how do I feel about this because last year I was doing another. I didn't do a reaction to Yu Yu Hakusho. I didn't really do that. So what I decided to do, I wanted to check it out for myself. I wanted to rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho because that was the type of anime that kind of got me back into it. Because one, I remember watching half of the series since I was a child, and I've been a huge fan of it ever since then. So I almost gave up on the show because it only had like 140 something episodes. And I was ready to just give up because it took so long for me to finish the whole season. And the thing I love about Yu Yu Hakusho is how unique the characters are, and the action was top notch. It's everything you want in a classic martial arts anime. And may I remind you that I love martial arts too. So I think Yu Yu Hakusho is by far one of my favorite animes. I love watching since I was a child. And I personally feel like, you know what, this show brings me back to my childhood. I remember watching Face Day Night Unlimited Unlimited Blade, where the animation was amazing. And I think animation style called Unforgettable Studios. Fate Stay Night Blade. I don't know. Wait, is it Fate Stay or Night Unlimited Blade? Or is it just all together? Yeah, I think the worst part about anime is, you know, how it's run nowadays. Especially when it comes to shows that I don't like. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't understand it at first. Yeah, I'm gonna just say this. So, Dragon Ball Super is the worst thing I've ever seen because I feel like when I've only saw one episode and I did not like it at all. Everything about the animation, the voiceovers just sounded a mess. It looked like a mess. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Dragon Ball Super is not my favorite anime because I haven't watched the show, and I don't think I ever want to watch it again. And I personally felt like the style of anime looks horrendous, and I don't think I want to watch any of the animation stuff. But some people liked it. I just don't. I just don't like the animations at all. Dragon Ball Z was the original show that I loved watching as a kid, and one of my favorite moments from the saga was the Super Saiyan saga when Goku transformed to Super Saiyan, and he beat the crap out of the Frieza. Dragon Ball Super is the worst animation show. It sucks so much. I know, right? Even my friends thinks that the animation style sucks. My little cousin, she likes Dragon Ball Super and Goku Black. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be mad at her about that. But to me, I'm just not into the anime style because based on some anime flows, it didn't turn me on. It turned me off. But getting back to the original Dragon Ball Z, the OG Dragon Ball Z, back when they had the whole cast, the original voice actors that paid away. I'm talking the original Gohan. That was a lot better than the other one because I swear I hated that voiceover. So, and then they be coming up with some crazy Dragon Ball Z films, which I don't care about, to be honest. So, Dragon Ball Super is the worst. The animation sucks so much. I agree with you. I agree with you. I didn't get it the first time what you said, but I get it now. I mean, Dragon Ball Super is the worst thing that's ever happened ever. So, what can I say? I guess we could talk about movies now. Uh, I think the first movies I liked growing up was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, the 1990 film, not the crappy ones they got now. I remember back in 2003, and I believe it was 2004 or 3 when I first got the movie on VHS. I still have the original VHS version. I need to get rid of my VHS stuff and my VCR because I feel like, you know, I'm getting old for that stuff now. So, um, the Ninja Turtles movie, the 1990 version, was a bit better because I loved the story. The action was good. They looked and sounded like actual Ninja Turtles that I grew up watching. Um, every day I would come home from school, I would always watch the little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon episode from season 3 or season 2. No, I think it was season 3 when it was 1990. After that episode went off, they played this little promotion of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, and that kind of made me a fan even more. And I remember playing that 2003 game on the PS2, and it's always kind of reminded me of the original Sega Genesis game Hyperstone Heist. That when I used to have the game as a child, although I've never beaten it, but it's still among one of my favorites of all time. So, and what I love about the film is that it's dark, gritty. The comedy is good, and Ernie Reyes Jr. was Donatello's stuntman. I forgot, but in the second film he played a different character named Keto. And I think, to be honest, Ernie Reyes Jr. is the reason why I became a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If it wasn't for him, there would be no Ninja Turtles. I remember watching a Bruce Lee movie called Enter the Dragon. I love that movie. It's by far one of the best movies growing up too. And here's the thing. When I first went to South Carolina, right, when I was a child, visiting my Uncle Hezekiah for the first time, I remember him having a Bruce Lee poster stuck up on the wall somewhere. I think it was up in the room or in the dining room. But I do know for a fact that when I first saw the Bruce Lee poster, I was like, okay, who is this guy? He looks like a legit boss. A few years later, when I first watched the film, I was like, wow, I was hooked. The only film that made Bruce Lee a legend. And now that you think about it, it's still one of the most talked about films of all time. Like, he was the originator of how to do a martial arts movie right. I'll be right back. I don't know if I still have the film or not, because they didn't. Because you see, they did not add the Enter the Dragon movie in, the Bruce Lee movie collection, but there was a bootleg. No, a film. Where is come on, really? Where did it go at? Crap. Um, no, it's not in here. It's not in here though, but I do have the three. It's a DVD, but it's a DVD with Bruce Lee films. Um, The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, and Return of the Dragon. That was the only film I have. Well, I got the DVDs, but they did not add the Enter the Dragon film because that was personally one of my favorite Bruce Lee films of all time. It was the type of film that made him a star. But if you ever notice how he looked at the film of all three movies, he looked healthy. But the last film Bruce Lee did, he looked sick. He looked kind of, pale. Not pale, but a little bit bonier because he had that sickness in his brain. And to tell you the truth, Bruce Lee is a raw martial artist. Why? Because he basically he ate a lot of raw food. I'm like, how does this nigga do that? I can't even eat raw food like that. With blood still in it, I can't do that. Drinking raw eggs, I can definitely choke on raw eggs because I can't do it. You know what they say? Don't try this at home. Yeah, don't try it. Even Rocket Balboa did it in the film one time. So that's my YouTube. Again, Bruce Lee, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first two films I like, but that third film they made, oh god, don't even talk about it. It's so bad, it's so ugly. The Ninja Turtles themselves look way stupid. They look like a couple of crackheads you get from the street to make sex tapes with. But although the martial arts fight scenes were good, but Jesus, the costumes look so bad. I mean, I don't know if the film was based off the Turtles in Time video game, but if they were to do that, they could have stayed. Well, they would have made the film just like the video game, and you would have had yourself a video game film just like that. Wait a second. I think that Bruce Lee film was right over there somewhere. Alright, this is the film I was talking about right here. It's a Bruce Lee 3-disc DVD set. It's not in good condition, but it's still a complete disc. It's all dusty as a mud, first of all. It's Bruce Lee Ultimate Collection. So you have your 3-disc movie set here. There's your Big Boss. No, actually, world. Oh, it's 4. I'm sorry. Big Boss. You got Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, The Game of Death Part 1 and 2. Both movies of The Game of Death I did not like at all because I just didn't like it because it's Bruce Lee, part of him was in it, but when it comes to the fight scenes, I think his stunt coordinator was in it. I'm like, what is this film? Like, what is this crap? I thought I expected better from this, but I didn't. But in the end of the film, they got these little trailers of the... Hey, what's up, Video Game Lover Day? How you doing? Hey, man. Look, listen, feel free to join it anytime. Just sit here and chill with my subscribers talking about whatever. Have you watched a movie called The Raid? I've seen both movies and they are so good. The fight scenes were great. The fight choreography was incredible. It was more hardcore, more raw, and it was really good. It was really good. Uh, I remember watching this film as a child, but I don't know if you ever heard of Critters 4 with Angelina Bassett and a few other co-stars that in the film. There's this one scene I've heard shower scene when they showed her whole butt scene, and I remember showing it to my uncle and them, and they were like, "Oh, like I was just laughing, cause here's a funny story, funny times. But back when I was a teenager growing up, I used to rewind that scene of Angelina Bassett. I keep stuttering every time I say her name, but I keep rewinding her backside. Like, I don't know why, but it's just so weird. Like, I have some weird habits of when I used to do when I was a child growing up. So I used to watch the movie all the time as a child, to be honest. R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. I used to love watching the movie. I mean, R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. I mean, this movie is so funny at the same time. It's so cheesy the way that they directed it. It was just R. Kelly just singing, or the actors, whatever they say, he's just singing along with their words. And I don't know how he does it though, but I feel like Trapped in the Closet was R. Kelly's one of his best works, and it's the first one, and I got it in 2005 when I first started watching it. And I'm thinking, okay, first time they played the music video on BET in the past, I think this was like during the summer of 2005, and I was trying to figure out what the heck I was watching, and then it came to my attention that it was about a story, like a love story, a family story. You know, it's crazy. The film was a mess, but it was funny at the same time. But it was still a classic among fans out there. But I used to always sing the song with my neighbors and my friends, and there were some few scenes that kind of made me laugh with the old midget when he was like, he pooped on himself talking to a police officer when his wife got caught cheating, messing with a midget, and come to find out she's pregnant with this child by the end of the fourth or the fifth chapter. And the lady who played Bridget, her eyes looked scary when she did this, looking on the floor, and you can kind of see when they played that blue screen of her, of the actress who played Bridget. She looked so scary. Like, I had nightmares one time, you know, going to bed at night, you know, because of it. So, do you know who Aku Uwais? He's no, I haven't heard of him though, but I did see a couple of his bio on demand when I was looking for the rain or whatever. But if that's what you're talking about, yeah. There were a few films that I think in 2015, back when I was a huge fan of 2016 is when I became a huge fan of movies again, when there was this film called Near Dark, 1987 film that got me hooked. It was the film that kind of made my childhood feel special. And I remember rewatching the film many times before in October, and I was in love with the film instantly. And every Thursday I used to go with my grandmother to Rivertown. We would always take her out and take her out shopping. I used to always go to the Dollar Tree, and every time I go in there, I always think of Near Dark because that was one of my favorite films of all time, and I remember watching it on demand every single day because of the music and the story and the plots. And I remember the plot very well because I watched the film every day. And Near Dark is one of my favorite films in the world. But I'm so mad that it was going to end until November. I was like, why? You could have kept it on demand. Like, I mean, listen, I have Xfinity on demand. So, yeah. Yeah, Tony Jaa is my favorite martial artist too. He was the type of martial artist that could jump over anything, that could get over anything without computer graphics and none of that. Without using his own stuntman. Because, one, he is his own stuntman. The Protector was my favorite movie. That was one of his best works. He barely spoke any English. I'm like, what is this? But at the same time, his fighting skills made his movies watchable. Think about that. But getting back to the films that Donnie is my favorite martial artist. He is too. I have the film in the Land of Duty 4. I usually watch the mess out of the film in the past because I was wondering what kind of martial arts film y'all have, and when I saw Donnie Yen, I was like, let me go ahead and pick this up. I'm thinking this movie was made in 1983, but it turns out it was made in 1988 or 89. In the Land of Duty 4. It was one of my favorite martial arts movies of all time when I first watched it. The fight scenes were fast paced. The fight choreography was top notch. Like there was not any martial artist films that can do it than Donnie Yen. The films I want to see is Ip Man 2, 3, and 4. I've seen Flashpoint, the 2007 film he made. That was an amazing film. Iron Monkey. I've seen a little bit of the film in the past, but I'm planning on doing a live reaction to the movie very soon. But for right now, I think Donnie is my favorite martial artist. But getting back to the movie I was talking about, Near Dark. I love vampire flicks. I love Near Dark. It's my favorite films since forever. One of my favorite scenes in the film was the bar scene when Saffron he beat up a couple of customers. He ate their blood. He beat the crap out of the bartender by using one of the blades from the ankle of his boot and slicing, diced his throat. Flashpoint is amazing. Did you see it? Oh, I've seen the film all the time. That used to come on. That used to come on Showtime, and that final fight was brutal, and yet the film was incredible. It was one of Donnie's best work. You want to know what I find funny too? Most of the time, most of the martial arts films I've seen in the past, when martial artists like Donnie Yen and Jackie Chan, Jet Li were English voice dubbed their characters in the martial arts movies. Like, you guys are English too. You guys can speak English too. Why do you have to voice over your characters all the time? But hey, I mean, they're from China, so what you expect? The second film that I grew up, I love watching in 2016 is Total Recall the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Total Recall was one of my favorite films of all time too, because the backgrounds, the plot, and the way that the film was made. 1990, the film had very mixed references when it comes to the video games. Like the background, it kind of reminds me of the Golden Axe franchise, and the back alley at night, it kind of reminded me of Streets of Rage when it comes to the speed chase. And when he was in the Mars scene, it kind of reminded me of E-SWAT. 3 Sega Genesis video games that the movie Total Recall reminded me of when it comes to the backgrounds. And the plot is very, very mixed. The final fight between Quaid and the villain, when the elevator went up, that kind of reminded me of Streets of Rage. I'm like, this film, looking back at it now, it has so many references from the classic video games that I noticed firsthand. And yet the film was fantastic, but it was rated R too, so yeah. And one of the most bizarre things about the film was the characters. When Quaid was looking for Melina, this 3-titty lady was trying to seduce him. I'm like, what the heck is this? But little did I realize that it was rated R in the first place. I kind of knew that, but it was still weird to me at the same time, because the way that they shot the film, having the character with 3 titties, I think the lady that was on social media, when she took a picture of her 3 titties on Instagram or even Twitter, whatever, I think that was kind of inspiration from the character from the Total Recall. I was about to say Tokyo Ghoul. I'm like, what am I talking about? And you know what? Now that you think about it, that was kind of strange to me when the lady that was on social media, when she took a picture of herself with 3 boobs, I think that character from the Total Recall film was the inspiration for her character, for that person in real life. And the dude with the messed up face, with the one eye, it's weird. The whole movie was weird, but it was so good at the same time. Those were the 2 films that I loved watching in 2016. That was my most obsessed films I like watching. And then last year, there was this one film called Commando, one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger's films ever. And I remember I used to watch this film every single day. When I was watching drawing Power Rangers Zeo, I used to watch the film like nonstop while I was drawing at the same time. Therefore, I think Commando, Total Recall, Near Dark are one of my favorite films I love watching. Even Double Impact, the film that Jean-Claude Van Damme made some of his best works, in my opinion, was good to me, in my eyes. Double Impact, Kickboxer, and Bloodsport. Double Impact was one of my favorite films I just love. I enjoyed watching last year, especially when it came to the fight scenes and the music. It kind of reminded me of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis music was a bit dark, but yet it was one of the best. That's what the movie Double Impact reminded me of when it comes to the soundtrack and even the fight scenes. And I remember drawing the 2017 Power Rangers movies just like that, and drawing the Ninja Turtles because of the movie. So, but nonetheless, I think Double Impact, Near Dark, Commando, and Total Recall was one of my favorite films. Yeah. All right, so let's talk. Video games. I remember as a kid, I used to always complain a lot when I don't win. A few games I've beaten twice. One time was God of War and 2. I remember beating God of War 3 times because, one, I used to always go on YouTube and trying to find multi-parts of God of War 2. At certain levels I couldn't get into. I used to always watch how the gamer does it, and I've done the same thing as well. And boy, did I rage quick like crazy. I remember a couple of times when I couldn't beat the levels, but I managed to do it in concentrations. But I feel like when I look at God of War, I think of Vin Diesel when it comes to Kratos. Vin Diesel would have been an incredible Kratos in God of War film if they were to actually make it. But why did the actor from the first 2 games look like Kevin Garnett? You know, the NBA player from the Celtics. He kind of reminded me of Kevin Garnett a little bit. So God of War is my favorite game. The first 2. Street Fighter 4 was my favorite fighting game of all time. I remember when I couldn't beat shoot, I forgot the final boss of Street Fighter 4. What's his name? It's not Sagat, but shit. Hold on, let me search, because I forgot about Street Fighter 4's character, because I haven't played Street Fighter 4 in a long time. I haven't played my Xbox 360 in a long time, because Streets. Oh, wait, I messed up. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find Street Fighter 4. Oh, Seth. I remember in the past I couldn't beat Seth. He was one of the hardest yet brutal characters of all time. Why? Because back when I broke my index finger in what, 10 years ago? What was that? No, 9 years ago when I broke my index finger, I remember being frustrated playing fighting games in my cast because, number one, my fingers were hurting because of a certain support. I couldn't beat Seth because he was one of the most brutal characters, but Ken was my favorite character to play because of his dragon uppercut. His hurricane kicks were 10 times faster than Ryu's. And then I managed to beat him. Well, a few times, but I think the few things that frustrated me was Chun-Li's ultra combo. Again, I don't like playing with chargeable characters, although I love Chun-Li, but her special and her super and her ultra combos were very, very hard to pull off. Because I didn't know what I had to do. I would have to charge and then release, charge, release at the same time. Like, what do I do? I just didn't understand. They should have came out with a Street Fighter 4 strategy video of how to pull off certain characters' ultra combos. And but at the end, Street Fighter 4 was my favorite. And that, and I first went to David Buster's with my friends from high school that I still keep in contact with today. So yeah. Then came Super Street Fighter 4. And boy, did it have some mixed questions about it though. But it was still a good game to me. I managed to beat it with Denise. Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection. I like that game because of the classic beat 'em ups like Streets of Rage, Saga, Golden Axe, Sonic. They had a few games that I've never played before as a child, but I ended up hating it because of how difficult the game was. But I still enjoyed it regardless. So. Street Fighter 15 collection, 15th anniversary collection on the PS2. There were only two games they had: Hyper Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. But then they got the Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, but it was PG-13, but they kind of censored it down a little bit when Chun-Li's shower scene was shown. Again, this was a PG-13 version instead of like an R-rated version. The R-rated version already had Chun-Li's shower scene when her butt was like showing or whatever. But the PG-13 version, they did not show it. They only show a little bit of it, but not a lot. But nonetheless, it was still a good film. I used to always draw the Power Rangers as the Street Fighter 4 anime style. No, Street Fighter 2 anime style because of the animation look. The art looked beautiful. And I've always thought that classic anime movies and shows were the best in terms of animation style. So, but my God, I had so many issues with the Hyper Street Fighter 2 game on the Sega Genesis. And I personally feel like maybe I should just take a break. Take a break from Street Fighter, period. So, still hungry, man. So I got gas like a mug. Trying to see what else I want to talk about. Oh God, please don't do this to me now. Like I said, every time I do videos like this, my eye always burning. I don't know why. I think it's because of sinus or it's just that I just yawn too much. I don't know. But I'm trying to fight this burn, y'all, because my eyes are, oh God, my eyes are burning. What else I want to talk about? Music. I like music. I think music is one of my favorite things to do when it comes to listening, like hip hop, old school hip hop, like lyrical rappers. You don't see or hear from none of them nowadays because everything is so pop mainstream because I used to like music back when it mattered. Nowadays, it just doesn't matter anymore due to the lack of um, rappers not making any sense whatsoever, always repeating the same language over and over again. Um, and I remember there was this one rapper named Chris Webby when I first heard about it. And you see my reactions to his videos on Sway when he dissed all memo rappers, and I fell in love with the guy because when he dissed them, because he's real. Chris Webby is real. I thought he was gonna be one of those rappers who defended memo rap. Like, I don't defend that crap. Memo rap sucks, and it will forever be trash until it dies. And what's bad about it is that these memo rappers, they used to be lyrical rappers back when they had bars. Now that they signed with mainstream, they don't have bars. How am I supposed to take people like that seriously if they can't even, rap on one song? I took a listen to Lil Xan one time. I can't take rappers seriously if they have the name Little. You are not little. You're big men with little names. Like, come on. Like, stop with this little stuff. Little this, little that. Now you're just making hip hop a joke now. But sorry for that little rant though, what I'm saying. My favorite rappers are Snow the Product. I like her. She's one of my favorites. Alyssa Marie, she's my favorite. They're both they're both Latino rappers, but they both spit hot fire. Gafflin, she's cool. I like her a lot. I think with the way music is nowadays, it's terrible. So but some of the music I like are motivational tracks. Like, I've got so many video game remixes of old songs from the Sega Genesis games like Streets of Rage, Shinobi, Shinobi 3, some of the songs from the art videos and Tyrone Madness videos. Only one, which I like. I listen. Like I said, I like music. I think music is. It kind of helped me out. It kind of helps me sometimes get over my pain. My personal problems or whatever. But mentally, it helps me out a lot. So I will always find music to be my source of comfort zone, art. I love art. I love drawing comic art because I've been drawing for years, since I was like a child. I kind of stopped drawing because I was, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing at the time in the past. So back when I was like young, I didn't really draw anything. I was just watching, playing video games, playing my toys or whatever. So, however, around 2003, I kind of got back into art. I was just drawing my butt off, but it's terrible. But at the end, it was something that I did growing up. So throughout the years, I kind of struggled to find my own style. But once I saw Zach Azia's YouTube channel, I just fell in love with it because I just love his work, the way he draws, the way he uses talents, and it kind of motivated me to be better based on his techniques. So as of today, what I'm still drawing the way he draws it. I've gotten better over the years. So I transitioned from wacky to pro. And I'm still learning how to balance the two. I've had to get better at it. So so I think comic art is my favorite. And I love realistic art too. Like I draw many different Mighty Morphin Power Rangers styles, realism style, comic style. But realism style I like doing because I have different techniques of how to do them by using marker, graphite, and regular color pencils too, just to bring out the colors out better. And I will also use paint to just to draw some details in it to make it look good. Like you've seen my work on Instagram and you would know what I'm talking about. And you've seen my videos on it in the past, so there should be no surprise in there. I don't think I have anything else to talk about, but I mean, if you have any questions for me while I'll end this stream in a few minutes, feel free to drop in. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna just sit here and look dumb as usual. So, shoot, I could just read a comic book. I could just read this. Hey, what's up, homie? Feel free to ask me any questions. Will Money in the Bank suck? Probably so, because like I said, I don't care about wrestling anymore. My friend always called me about wrestling, this and that. Like I said, the only time I do wrestling videos is when I do Everything Wrong with the Christian Miracles wrestling videos. That's the only time I do videos on Everything Wrong with wrestling, this and that. But like I said, I barely watch Raw and SmackDown anymore. Raw sucked because they be giving too many people opportunities without them even earning it. Yes. Even SmackDown has gotten lazy. Hashtag fire Road Dogg. Why do you think SmackDown has been sucking as of recently? Now, if you remember 2 years ago, SmackDown used to be a good show. Back when the brand split used to be fun. But SmackDown was my favorite show to watch because I love blue. Blue is my favorite color. I love SmackDown because they have good quality matches. So I feel like therefore SmackDown sucks. Thanks to Road Dogg. He's the worst head writer ever, and I think he's just did the wrestling. Bring back some of the old writers and make SmackDown a good show. So I think Money in the Bank 2018 will suck. And you know what? Speaking of Money in the Bank, why did Vince decide to bring back the Money in the Bank briefcase? If he took away the Money in the Bank, or took away Money in the Bank briefcase last year, then why did they decide to bring him back? If that was the case, why can't they just bring back the Pyros? I think that's one of the biggest beef I have with that as well. So yeah, I think Money in the Bank will suck. So Yeah, I'm just reading the Street Fighter comic. It's funny because I don't read comics. I just look at the art because I'm an artist myself, so that's how I do. But I'm actually reading a plot because Master Gen or Master Gen, how you want to call it, he wanted to face Akuma, wanted to find a worthy opponent. So, but he ends up dying in the comic due to Akuma's dark powers. So I think this issue is basically Master Gen is pretty much telling Akuma it's over. Like, you haven't mastered your powers yet, so therefore the fight is over. But the master is sick anyway, so of course Akuma survives your technique. He's like John Cena, a little teeny bit. Oh, you was just telling Ryu this. You guys could ask me any more questions while I'm reading this Street Fighter comic. I'm not going anywhere, so if not, then I'll just end the stream there. Hmm. Like I said, I'm just gonna read a little bit of this because, like I said, Master Gen is pretty much telling Ryu about him defeating Akuma, but Ryu wants him to teach him his techniques before he dies. So yeah. So thank you all for chilling with your boy. I'm planning on doing this again very soon. If you enjoyed this video, this live chat, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram, W Track 2, and I'm out of here.